Hello, everybody. What's going on? Yeah, I don't have any breaking news or anything. I was just on YouTube for the last hour or so, and nobody was live, and I'm kind of bored, so I figured I'd go live and see what's going on with you people. It's been so long since I've done this. I'm having trouble remembering how to do it all. Who all we got in the chat here? I saw Native earlier. I see Christopher B's in here. Naughty Heathen, Teresa, Big Chat. Fish sticks. Miss Sharon, hello. So what's going on, everybody? Did y'all have a fun Veterans Day weekend? Or has it been a fun Veterans Day weekend? I didn't do anything. I was lazy. But what are you going to do? Hung out in a few chats last night with Tribe. Can you guys hear me all right? Michigander, what's going on? Princess Buttercup, how are you? Good evening, Betty. Militant, 5x5, sweet. Tammy C, hello. Let's see if I can remember how to do all this. All right, this is YouTube. This is StreamYard. So if I do this, and then come back to YouTube and do this. Tamara, Sherry Leach, Tammy C. There now, that message. I think I just pinned the link if anybody out there wants to come chat. You know how I am in this talking to the computer by myself. Ronnie Braun, what's going on? Oh, snowing in Southwest Michigan. Oof. Yes, dude, I've got my windows up. It was hot yesterday, like legit hot. Today was beautiful. Today was an awesome day. Nice and windy. John McGill, what's going on? Angela B, hello. What's going on, Kentucky Patriot Prepper? Well, anybody want to hop up there and chat about something? I am really excited about I don't know if y'all caught Native's stream on Wednesday after he went hunting deer with his pickup truck, but he's doing I think he's going to do it. It's something that he talked about, or an idea that we had about. There he is. Wednesday kidnapping. About I think all of us that were on the panel, Native was going to get us a topographical map, either real or he can just draw it himself of a specific area of land, and then we were going to each like completely ground up, like build our own community and then come together and compare them. And I think that'll be fun. That'll be kind of like a video game, but not a video game, like a game. It'll be fun. I'm looking forward to that. Still gonna do that, Native? Oh, excuse me. Yeah, me too, man. That's gonna be fun. I think it's gonna be real fun. Especially with Hutch getting involved in it, because he was hard into that stuff. John, I hadn't done a Canon video in many months. I kind of handed it over to the Canimals, and Sophia has been rocking the Canon streams hardcore. They're doing real good. I did can all day yesterday. I canned all day Saturday and Sunday last week. Saturday and Sunday, I canned about 40 pounds of chicken, and I did like 35 or 36 quarts of bone broth. And then today I canned, actually yesterday and today, I cooked and canned about, I had 2 Boston butts, and I think one of them was 11 pounds and one of them was like 15 pounds. Obviously, that's with the bone still in it and the fat, but I canned both of those. So yeah, I got 14, no, 12 more quarts of pulled pork put up today. So yeah, I still been canning. I just haven't been going live. The whole going live thing. I didn't get burnt out on it, but with working full time and trying to enjoy at least one day a week off, you know, it was just. Plus, you can ask Sophia B. It does not take long at all to get burnt out doing a live canning stream, because you're generally on. At least I know I was live for a minimum of 3 to 4 hours. There were a couple of those streams that went 5, 6 hours long, and you got to remember that's just the canning stream. Like if I was doing something like the chicken bone broth or the pulled pork and stuff like that, I was canning, all day long before, I actually got up at 6 one morning and started doing the chicken and canned all day, all the way around till I went live, and then all the way around till 2 a.m. the next day. So it takes a lot of energy and a lot of time. Native, my brother, look at you. I guess this means I might start doing some member stuff now that apparently I'm back with the YouTube. I'm gonna give this thing a shot again. I did get what was it? Not demonetized, but they canceled my AdSense account, so I gotta like reapply for that, I guess. But so yeah, I guess I don't know, whatever. So what else is going on out there in YouTube land, other than all the fear porn and World War III and all that crap? And I tell you what, I was I'm gonna have to backtrack, because I was talking a lot of smack about the Canadian prepper, and I gotta say I'm not gonna take back everything, but I will admit to even when I get mad at people, I don't unsubscribe, because even if an idiot can still have some good stuff to say every now and then, you know what I mean? Not saying that he's an idiot or anything, but I've still watched his videos, and I watched a couple today, and his recent stuff was actually very, very good. And I kind of jumped the gun on him with the whole fear porn and this, that, and the other. But his YouTube channel is his business, and his business is going very well. So, and he's got umpteen hundreds of thousands of subscribers. So if they're asking, hey, Tammy C, thank you very much, much appreciated, very much appreciated. If he's got his subscribers and they're asking for the fear porn, I mean, what kind of a jackass would he be if he didn't try to do what his subscribers are asking him to do? He's got a lot of people that are feeding him information. He does his best to verify it, make sure that it's true. Not saying that all of it is, and I'm not saying that all of it isn't. But every now and then it's a pretty good listen. I mean, we can all hate on him, or some of us can, some of us can't. I think he's an all right guy. I'm cool with him. I think I think he did the YouTube thing right. He's got a warehouse full of stuff. He's got his own store. I'd like to have that many subscribers and be able to just stay home and do YouTube and basically hang out with my friends all day. That would be awesome. Angela B, hello. Thank you very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So I'll definitely have to get some stuff together for the members. And Tribe even said something the other night on his, or was it Tribe that said it? No, it was Native. Native said it, because him and I were talking on the phone, and I'm thinking about kind of, because for those of you that don't know, I'm a teacher. Right now I'm just full-time substituting, trying to get my degree thing figured out from Florida to here and all that good stuff. But while I was waiting to get all that finished, I've been full-time substituting at a couple of schools around here, and it's fun. I love it. I love teaching kids. It's awesome. I mean, it's awesome. I don't like the politics. It's very, very tough to deal with. Miss Sharon, thank you, thank you, thank you. Awesome. Thank you very much. Bunnies are doing good. I've actually right now I scaled back. I've got 8. And my big buck tribe, he passed away about a month and a half ago. He was a little over 4 years old, so he wasn't that old, and he didn't show any signs of being sick or anything. He was always kind of lethargic. He wasn't full of energy unless I put a female rabbit in the cage with him, and he was all over the place. But I just went out there one morning and he just checked out, so that sucked. But I do have 3 of his sons, and every single one of my does is one of his offspring from several different litters. So Sherry Leach, thank you. Thank you very much. So yeah, the rabbits, I kind of scaled back. Right now I've only got 8 because honestly, I have spread the love, so to speak. I have helped 2 other people get started in rabbits. One of the students that went to my school, her parents have a 25-acre farm about a mile, maybe a mile and a half from here, and they had everything on the farm except rabbits, and they wanted rabbits. So I hooked them up with I can see 6, 7, yeah, 7. Gave her 2 bucks, 4 does, and then I gave her daughter a brand new bunny for passing or graduating, whatever grade it was last year. And then I just sold 4 more to an actual teacher that's at the school with me now. He's getting into the trying to be more self-sufficient kind of thing. So I showed him how to build his cages and got all the equipment that he needed for it. And then I hooked him up with a buck and 3 does. So he's good to go. So right now I'm down to 8. I am going to start breeding again, but I'm not going to go breeding hardcore and putting up a bunch of meat, because I already have a bunch of meat put up. Legitimately, I could probably scale back and just keep 2 does and a couple of does and a couple of bucks, because it'd be way cheaper to feed them. And then if something does happen and I need to produce some meat, then I can kick it into high gear, and I can have production running wide open within 4 to 6 months. So that's another great thing about rabbits. They don't mess around. They get to work. Betty, thank you very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So yeah, still got the rabbits. Miss Sharon asks, are rabbits more expensive to keep than chickens? I don't know. Depends on what you're feeding your chickens. If you're free ranging your chickens, then it pretty much doesn't cost you a whole lot of anything. And you can basically you can use tractors for your chickens, and you can use lawn tractors for your rabbits, to where it's really cheap to feed them. But here, I mean, I can do for the 8 that I have now, I can do a 50-pound bag of rabbit food that's right at 20 bucks, and that plus hay, feed them hay. And then when the garden was up and running, I'm fixing to do some more collards now. I can supplement it with collards and grass clippings and hay and all that good stuff. And that, if you want to, I mean, that $50 bag of rabbit feed can last a couple of months. And it's up to you on how you want to cut it up, cut the feed up, and what other kind of things you can supplement for it. But yeah, I think chickens and rabbits are pretty much the same, except it's awesome to get eggs from the chickens. But nothing produces meat like a rabbit. Absolutely nothing. I mean, I can breed a rabbit tomorrow, and in 28 to 31 days, she'll have a litter of kits, anywhere from usually 6 to 10. And 12 weeks after that, which is 3 months, they're ready to harvest. I mean, you're talking about a 2 to 3 pound rabbit. So I mean, that's quick. I mean, you're talking if you get 10 kits and you're doing 2.5 to 3 pound rabbits. I mean, you're talking there's 22, 24 pounds of meat in 3 months, and you can breed them as soon as. I mean, if you stagger different, I mean, I could basically, if I wanted to really go into production, I could basically, I could be harvesting rabbits every day or every other day. Militant says they keep rabbits in colonies, but they literally cost us nothing. But you need us. But yeah, I thought about doing the colonies, but if I did it here with all the hawks, I would have to. It would have to be totally enclosed to keep the birds out. And my property isn't fenced in yet, so I'm right now. I just got the cages fenced in, but I thought about doing the colonies and just keeping. I figured I'd keep my does and bucks separate, and then just pass them over the fence when it was time to breed, because I don't want them blowing up on me. What's what's cracking? What's cracking? Roman, what's going on? Yeah, so I mean, rabbits, chickens, awesome. Yeah, I mean the thing, the thing about the rabbits, I mean, you figure because you legit only need one buck. I mean, you can breed that bad boy every day, like every day. Uh, and but something could happen, like the other last month when I went outside and tried, they passed away. Uh, if I only had one buck, I'd be up the creek. So it's always good to have a backup. Um, but yeah, I mean, if you've got enough does, and within a couple months, you know, you're breeding. It's you can literally, if you had a couple 3 bucks and 20 does, you would literally you would be giving meat away. You wouldn't have anywhere to put it. You probably couldn't can it fast enough to keep up with it. Yankee Watchdog, what's going on? Yes, and that's why I kind of eased up on the rabbit breeding thing, because number one, my hands are full with all the other stuff I'm doing, and number two, I it's I don't need that resource right now. You know what I mean? I don't need that resource right now. So if times get much rougher than they are right now, because I'm still eating, hamburger meat that I pay less than $2 a pound for, so I'm still good. But if it gets much worse and they really crack down, like I'm thinking there could be light at the end of the tunnel, and we could all be just, crying wolf. But yeah, the cards don't look like they're being dealt like that. So if it does get harder this winter, and I think this winter's going to be rough, but I think next winter is when it's going to be really bad. It's we got a huge hole that's been dug for us, and it's going to take time to climb out of that. Thomas, what's going on? It's going to take quite a bit of time to climb out of that hole that they've dug for us. So yeah, this winter is going to be rough. I think next winter is going to be uh, on a scale of 1 to 10. If this winter's a 4, I think next winter is going to be about an 8. I think it's going to be twice as bad as this winter. I could be wrong. I hope I am wrong. I just got a weird feeling, because it's just, I mean, fertilizer shortage, the lack of harvesting this year multiplied times next year, shortages in fertilizers, problems with the supply chain. That's another reason why I like having the rabbits. And the main reason, well, the number 2 reason why I do rabbits is because I don't need to worry about getting fertilizer from anybody. They make their own fertilizer, and it's awesome. So yeah. So what else is going on, peoples? So yeah, this year, or this upcoming year, I may even work on it some this winter. I don't know. But this upcoming year, I'm going to get me a couple chickens, just for the eggs, not so much the meat, just for the eggs. Because right now, even with the prices the way they are, the price of chicken still isn't that bad. Plus, I know enough people around here that are raising them. You know, if I need to get some chicken meat, I can get some chicken meat. But I've got years worth of chicken already put up, so I'm good on the chicken area. But I would like fresh eggs on the regular. So that's the next avenue there. Um, yeah, so that's pretty much it. I went out today, um, scoping out the bamboo forest out, or the closest one to my place. Trying to find some good bamboo to go ahead and cut and let it dry out so I can start making bows. We'll make handmade bamboo bows and arrows from the bamboo. And the ones out there, or the I think we call it a forest, a thicket out back is they're all kind of small. I mean they're you know maybe diameter maybe 2.5, 3 inches. I want to find some mature bamboo, and there's several thickets down the road from here. I'm gonna go uh, down there one night. I want to get some that are at least 5 to 6 inches in diameter, maybe 4 inches in diameter. Because what I want to do is I want to cut it on both axes, and that'll give me 4 staves that I can make 4 separate bows out of one. Plus, it's thicker, it's older, and it's tougher, so it'll make for a much better bow, and it'll have a much heavier draw weight. Yeah, Thomas, our grocery store here has them for 20. It's 28 cents a pound. Limit one, but you got to buy $35 worth of other stuff, which that ain't hard to do. I mean, shit, you walk into a grocery store, you drive through the parking lot, it costs you $35. Hey, John, what's going on? Good to see you too, man. Yes, I'm really looking forward to making the bows. And Native said something. My mustache just looks funny on this camera. I promise you guys, that's not snot. That's just gray hair growing in a straight line. Weird, but it doesn't look that way in the mirror. Strange. Anyway, um, I'm gonna start making handmade bows out of bamboo, and I still make them out of PVC pipe. And I'm actually going to sell them. If any of you guys want, I may make up a little website. But if anybody wants a handmade PVC bow or a handmade bamboo bow and arrows, well, I'll do videos showing you how to do it, how to make them yourself if you want to. But if anybody wants to buy one, I'll certainly make them and buy them because I can only shoot one at a time. So there's no need for me to have 30 of them because they're fun to build. And I keep doing it. Like when I was in Florida, I had like 15 different PVC bows just because the building process was fun. It was just fun. It was fun making them and making them different ways and designing them different. So I had a whole bunch that I ended up giving away when I moved. So when I get started back into building them, I know I'm going to have a surplus. Yeah, I know, right? I need the Just for Men. I actually I don't know, it was a couple years back, just for shits and giggles. I got some of the hair dye or beard dye, whatever you call it, and I came home and I colored my beard back to normal color. It freaked me out. I was like, nope. I shaved it off and let it grow back out. I like my gray. Yeah, native seen my PVC bow, the one that I got here, and it was my last build, and it's pretty stiff. I put uh, fiberglass driveway markers. You know the poles that you driveway markers, or they also sell them at Home Depot, and I think even some at Walmart for tomato stakes. They're about as big around as your finger, and they're just solid fiberglass. But inside the PVC pipe, when I melted it flat, I put I think 2 or 3 in there, and before I heated it and formed it, so it's got a pretty it's a stiff pull. It's probably I don't know, Native. What do you think it is? Maybe it ain't super heavy. It's probably maybe 60 pounds, maybe 65. But I can go heavier with the bamboo. But yeah, it's legit and it's accurate. It shoots. It's a legit bow, and it's PVC, so you ain't gotta worry about it getting wet and having to stain it or clear coat it and all that stuff. You spray paint it whatever color you want. Nope. Yes, I'm gonna do the bows, I'm thinking about stepping back from teaching, not quitting, but instead of teaching 5 days a week, I think maybe I'll step back to do it like maybe step back to 4 days, maybe then 3 days, maybe then just 2 days. And then I want to offset that by focusing mainly on YouTube, getting my AdSense back up, focused on just doing YouTube content on like a regular basis, hopefully even a daily basis. If not daily, then at least, 3 or 4 times a week, with a couple live streams, at least one, and one of those being at least the members only. And then I want to do bow making, and I'm thinking about starting a t-shirt company and printing t-shirts, hats, hoodies, things like that for people in the community. I've already researched it and found out where I can get all the stuff. I'm thinking about just, instead of working for somebody else, I want to try to figure out a way to just, if I can make enough just to get by, I'll be happy. So that's what I'm thinking about doing. So, Monty, what's going on? Hoot. Stuart. What'd you say, Stuart? Just making shapes? We lost it. Where'd it go? Where'd your comment go, Stuart? Oh, I've done them both ways. I've molded them. I took them flat. I molded shapes with a molded hand grip. I did recurve the tips on a couple. I made short bows, long bows. Yeah, so I was just trying different ways. Like I'm definitely going to do a triple bow, or I'm definitely going to do a double bow out of bamboo. And I saw a picture of a couple of those where there's 2 and 3 bows put together, where you string tip to tip, so you're pulling all 3 bows at once. It's a pretty tight looking bow. I would definitely want to make one of those. Oh yeah, definitely. I'm actually, Chris, I'm actually thinking about, well, number one, when you get paid through YouTube, they tax you enough for the whole freaking neighborhood. I mean, they don't mess around. They're taking 40 off the top, or 45 off the top. Yankee, I made 2 takedowns with the PVC, but I wasn't really happy with them. They just felt I did the takedown, but I hand whittled the grip, and then had the screws to put the bow together. And it just I don't know, every time you would release it, you would feel the PVC pull away from the center grip part. So I wasn't really happy with it at all. So I may try it again. May try a takedown with bamboo or something. I don't know. What we got here? Leslie, what's going on? How are you? So yeah, that's what I'm probably gonna do. So hopefully here in the future, you guys will, instead of doing the Teespring thing and making 50 cents off a shirt they sell for 30, which granted it's free money, you ain't got to put any effort into it. They got all designs and everything there for you, and they mail it out and all that good stuff. So that'll be kind of a hassle I'd have to do on my end, but I mean, big deal. There's a post office not too far from here. So like, even if, like, say if you were a content creator and you wanted some shirts to mail out yourself, you could get them from me. I could send them to you, then you can mail them out as you sell them. Or just like, I would make the screen for your logo, and then instead of cleaning it and using it for another one, I would put it to the side and keep it and file it. So even if somebody just ordered 1 or 2 shirts at a time, like say if you had a couple of your subs, contact me, I want a shirt, I can just be like, all right, and then once a week I'll pull out your screen and I'll print your 3 shirts or 2 or even 1, and then they send me their address and stuff, and I'll mail it out. That way it doesn't have to go through the mail twice, so they can be cheaper. But I haven't done all the research yet, but I'm pretty sure I can beat Teespring's prices. because I can legit do one at a time if I wanted to. It's no big deal. I've got the room, so I'm gonna give it a shot. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do some shirts for me and Native and a few other people's, and make sure that everybody likes the quality. Because if the quality is good enough, then I can just go full speed ahead with it. Because there's enough people in the community alone, buying shirts back and forth from each other that it should keep me busy. Yeah, I was there was nobody else on YouTube Live. I mean, I looked around, I didn't see anything, and I was like, I'm bored. Might as well get on here because it's been so long since I've been on StreamYard. It took me like half an hour to figure out how to set the stream up. That's how long it's been. So what else has been going on with you guys? Native, did you get your truck fixed? I hope so. It didn't look like it was banged up too bad. Oh, really? Hutch is cool. Cool. Yeah, I mean, it'll be more work for me on my end, going to the, like what I figured I'd do is I would take orders, for a week, and then like say Native, if Native had a subscriber contact me and say, hey, I want one of Native shirts, I could go downstairs and just print the shirt and then mail it out the next day, or try to, as soon as it was all dried and everything, and wash the screen, put it back up. But then I might get another order tomorrow, the next day, for the same shirt. So what I figured I'd do is go week to week, like take orders all week, get to basement on Saturday, print up all the orders for anybody that wanted shirts, and then Monday go to the post office, mail them all out, and do the same thing again the following week. Just do it week to week. Because the hardest part about printing shirts, the actual printing of the shirt takes like 2 seconds. Okay, it's literally nothing to it. It's the process of making the screens and setting all the art up. That's what takes a long time. What's up, tribe? Yeah, Hoot. Native Wednesday, he went hunting. He went hunting with his pickup truck. Get all the parts. Got a lot of depth changing out the transmission line. My father-in-law's coming. Yeah, those are tricky. I did. I've done a couple, and they are a pain in the butt. Another one that's a pain in the butt to change out is your power steering, the pressure hose. That's a pain. Or at least it was in my Cadillac, because they hide it inside the frame. Like it was a disaster. It was a major pain. Yeah, I mean, I know the shipping will cost, quite a bit, but I mean, it's the same as it would be through StreamYard or anybody else. I mean, I don't know how much it is to ship to where you guys are, but hopefully there'll be a way to figure it out. Because I'm going to go bare bones as cheap as I can possibly make them, to where I'll make $1 or $2, and then whoever's ordering the shirt, or whoever you're ordering the shirt from, is going to make $1 or $2, and everybody will be happy. But like, see, with people that are close to me, like Native, if somebody's ordering his shirts, he can get them and he can mail them, or I can mail them, or if he wanted to get 5 or 10 at a time, I can just drop them off, or he can pick them up, and then he can mail them out as you guys ask for them. If you're close to me, but if you're far away, it'll be kind of different. But I mean, here's the thing is, it's not going to cost me any more to ship it to you than it would Teespring. Cool, Leslie. I appreciate that. I've already researched it. I'm gonna do T-shirts. I'm gonna do hoodies. I'm gonna do hats. I may even do those the stickers. I wanted to get the sticker machine, the vinyl stickers that you can put on your windows and stuff like that in your car. And do those too. $80 on transmission fluid. Good Lord, man. But yeah, I'm pretty sure I am going to do it, Leslie, just because, you know, Native and I were talking about it the other day. I'm tired of working for somebody else. I mean, I'm like over it. It's especially when you're my age and teaching in a school, and everybody that works there, like all the principals, all the administration, they're all younger than me. Some of them are even younger than a couple of my kids. Okay. So, but when they walk around with, their asses on their shoulders trying to bark out orders, and then you mess around and you get a liberal mixed up in the bunch, and everybody's feelings get hurt. I'm over that. I don't. That I ain't having it. So that's my plan. I mean, but I don't want to stop teaching because I enjoy it. I mean, I've had some really good positive feedback from a lot of the parents, most of the kids, and most of the staff. But it only takes one to ruin your freaking day. And especially when you got the issues like I got. I don't put up with nobody's shit. I'm just like, you know what? Bite me. I'm out. See ya. And it's hard not to do that. Narrate books from home. What are you talking about, Grandma Merkel? What is that? Narrating books from you mean I can get paid to read? I even thought about reaching out to some families that have a native. This is something I meant to tell you the other day and I forgot. Because there's a lot of families around here, or all over the country, all over the world, that are homeschooling. They just decided to keep doing it after the COVID thing because how bad the education system is getting right now. And I thought about utilizing YouTube and even doing a different channel and keeping it separate from this one, and literally do um, uh, teaching lessons on different subjects and record them. Half hour, 45-minute lessons on, doing math, equations, decimal, fractions, whatever, doing stuff on history, doing stuff on anything, and putting these things up on YouTube that parents that are at home homeschooling their kids, it's an option for them. If they would just want to take a day off and chill, they can just click a button and I'll teach their kids. And I was thinking about getting Native involved in that because he's kind of a smart dude too. And he used to do that stuff. So you figured, there you go, Nate. I mean, don't you think? I think that would be awesome. You know what I mean? Instead of like trying to set up an online academy and charging, parents an arm and a leg, just do it on the tube. You're gonna you're getting views hopefully. If it works, it works. If it don't, it don't. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Oh, what is this? Ghost, could you make a shirt with Native Ghost Backwoods Tribe Hutch and whoever on one shirt as a salute? Oh, that's a great idea. A community shirt. And that would be, you know what? I am going to do that, Betty. That is an awesome idea. Native, when we have our meetup, we'll have community shirts for people at the meetup. We can, how people do like family reunion shirts. Everybody gets a shirt. We can do that for the meetup. That's a great idea, Betty. I like that. And plus with the schools around here, all the schools around here, they have to wear uniforms, and the schools actually sell T-shirts and hoodies and keychains. The school, literally, the schools are marketing. It's a marketing tool now. They market their school. They wear hoodies, T-shirts, hats, for all the kids, and that's their option. They can either wear the uniform clothing or they can wear the school clothing that they have to buy from the school to school each day. That's their way around it. Like you can't just wear a hoodie to school, but if it's a school hoodie, you can wear it. So that's their money making, which I mean it's a great idea. I mean whatever, but they got to get their shirts from somebody. And if I'm working there and I can do them cheaper than the guy that's making them now, screen printer. I'm gonna do screen printing. Yeah, Native, that would be a dope shirt. That'd be a cool shirt. You know, and I apologize to all of my members, the new ones that joined tonight. Thank you guys very much, and the ones I had before I took my hiatus from YouTube. And here's the crazy part, guys. I just quit posting for like what 10 months or so, and I lost like maybe 20 subs. And 80% of the people that were members when I stopped posting are still members now, and I haven't put anything up. So that's like legit respect. That is some loyalty right there. It's either that or they just forgot that it was on auto pay and they don't miss that buck a month. I don't know. What you got, Tribe? My Teespring shirts, the prints are messing up. It's been over a year, and I washed them a lot, but a couple of them are messing up. Yeah. Do you? I was always told to flip them inside out. I don't know if like all of my front style shirts. I mean, I've had them for years, and I've had some of the seams come unraveled, but as far as the actual printing, it's holding up pretty good. Thank you, Sherry Leach. I appreciate that. Uh, Thank you, Leslie. And I think what I'm gonna do is because I rewatched some of my old stuff too, and like my first videos when I first started YouTube, and travel travel tell you like when I first started, I was dropping like 4 and 5 videos a day. I was going nuts. He's like, damn, bro, every time I look at my phone, it's gonna be saying you're putting a video up, you know, because I was going crazy. But I was putting so much stuff out there, and I didn't really spend a lot of time. So what I'm thinking about doing is going back from the very beginning when I started. You know, now that I'm back doing like a rebirth to the channel, so to speak. I make them all the way back to the beginning of all my videos and screen them and maybe redo them, like maybe update them. You know, like better delivery, things like that. Oh, not even. Thank you so much. And then redo those videos with better quality, better sound, and go more into detail. Appreciate you, my brother. Yeah, that's the way I do all of my screen tees. I all of them inside out. Buddy's doing great, just laid back, lazy. He's staring at me right now. And Mo's doing great. Buddy's cat. For those of y'all that didn't know it, I got him a cat for his birthday last year, or was it Christmas? Christmas last year. Got him a cat. Oh, Bug, dude, you like me yelling at the camera from across the room in the basement? Yeah, that was just like some legit. That was back in the days when I told everybody, I said, I don't edit nothing. I hit record, I talk, I upload it, and I send it. I don't even know how it looks. It is what it is. But yeah, so Buddy's cat, it's a mix. It's a half Maine Coon and something else. It's a big black furry freaky cat. But like overnight, he has a ring of gray hair around his head. He looks like my beard. It's the funniest thing. So yeah, I'm really digging the t-shirt idea. And I know like everybody and their brother has started a t-shirt company, and most of them go under or whatever. But I'm not trying to make $1,000 a day doing t-shirts. You know what I mean? Just do a little bit of this, a little bit of that, sell a bow here and there, do the YouTube, because it's like, all right, here's the way my brain works. It's not like I'm trying to do YouTube while I'm trying to sell real estate or work at McDonald's. Okay, making the bows, making the t-shirts, doing the teaching on YouTube for the kids, all that stuff that I can put on this channel that works for me twice. You know what I mean? So maybe I'm making $2 or $3 for every shirt that I print, but maybe the video that I made building my screen printer has 10,000 views. So I just made, you know, $70. So, I mean, you know, if you can do one thing and have it pay you more than once, that's kind of like what I want to do. You know what I mean? It's like making the bows. That's something that I enjoy doing, working my hands, building stuff like building the rabbit cages. Like I even thought about hand making my rabbit cages and going to the farmers market, places like that here that we have once a week, and selling rabbit cages, selling bamboo bows, things like that, you know, to the public. And even even on the side of the road, you know, where our favorite produce vendor, Native, you know, she don't do nothing out there in the winter. So even in the summertime, there's plenty of room beside her. And I ain't trying to, you know, take any of her produce business, but I can sure enough sit out there and sell some rabbit meat, some pelts, some bows, you know, t-shirts, whatever. Yeah, I think the teaching videos will do real good, because what I planned on doing, and that's why I thought about bringing Native in on this, is like producing an actual lesson with a lesson plan that is up to state standards, you know, that literally other teachers could use. You know what I mean? They could be like, you know, this dude, he does videos. I watched them. They're up to standard. They're state code. You know, they could play them in their schools. I don't care. I mean, why would I care? That must mean somebody's watching my video. Yeah, who? I've already got rid of a bunch. Yeah, and man, let me tell you something. I don't give a shit about the fertilizer shortage coming from Russia. I got fertilizer legitimately. It's yeah, I'm good on the fertilizer end. And I did this past summer. My garden was dirt from the summer before. All I did was amend it with rabbit manure, and it like the dirt, it worked better the second time around. So I'm curious to see how it does next year, because I'm just going to re-amend it with rabbit manure. Rabbit manure. I did some bone meal and blood meal. And the cool part is I can make that myself too. I mean, all you got to do is dry out the bones, put them in the oven, leave them in the sun for a while, grind them up, you know, grind them into powder. Blood meal, all you do is take a cookie sheet. When I butcher the rabbits, I can just save the blood, put it on the cookie sheet, sit it in the sun and put it in the oven, dry it out. It'll flake off and then crunch it up, powder it up. I got blood meal, bone meal. Yep. You can't go wrong with rabbits. I mean, at all. Like they're legitimately, there is no downside to rabbits. The only downside is obviously butchering their. It's like butchering a chicken. That doesn't bother me a bit. I mean, I walk up to the coop and just wring its neck right there, and we're off to the races. It's done. It's over with. But a rabbit is different. Like for me, it is simply because, I mean, rabbits are the #3 most popular pet in the United States, and then up until a few years ago, and I think, if I'm not wrong, I think it was President Trump that signed the law. But up until just a few years ago, it was legal in almost every state in America to raise cats and dogs for food. A lot of people don't know that. So yeah, whacking the rabbits. I mean, I've processed a few. It's not that big of a deal, but like I said before, that's not a resource that I need right now. Right now, what I need from the rabbits more than anything is, number one, having at least 2 breeding pairs ready to put to work when I need to, and number two is I want the fertilizer. That's the only reason I have as many as I have right now, is I've got a huge pile of rabbit manure. You know, I just want them for the fertilizer right now. When I need them for the meat, then I'll kick them into high gear breed, and I'll be going to work then. Taking the fish out of the pond, making your own emulsion. That's good. Yeah, I think this year, Native and I also talked about it. I'm going to get my hydroponics, or my aquaponics back up. Hydroponics, I'm going to do as well, an NFT system, but I want to get the aquaponics up because that was just a stress. It was just fun doing the fish and the plants and legitimately growing the best vegetables you ever seen or eaten in your life. Yeah, aquaponics. Nothing comes like you. Nothing comes close to how good the food tastes. Like, I mean, I had 9 foot tall collard green plants in August in Florida. I had a tomato plant when I moved. It was 21 months old, almost 21 months old. One plant was almost 21 months old. It was almost 2 years old. A lot of people don't know that. You know, they think tomatoes die every year. They don't. Tomato plant will live anywhere from 2 to 5 years. Some of them longer than that. It's just the climate. Yes, I'm in the city here, and well, barely, like legitimately, my property line on the other side of my property line out in the backyard is county. That's how far. Yeah, so yeah, it's a pain in the butt, but you're not supposed to have them. But I'm going to do them anyway because I don't care. But the thing is, as long as I don't have a rooster, I just got hens. The only time they make noises when they're laying, and I'm gonna put them in a not a chicken run, but a coop, and I may have two, maybe three, maybe four at the most, and that should produce all the eggs that I'll need. And then just rotate through them. Native, let me tell you something. The funnest, the only thing I've done from YouTube that I learned from YouTube and did from YouTube that was more fun than making bows out of PVC was aquaponics. That is some serious fun, very technical. You got to get it started, you got to pay attention. You got to know what you're doing. You got to know how to check your pH levels. You got to know how to do certain things, certain right to get it going. And then you can get creative, you know, because that system that I had with the IBC tote, the max amount of fish I should have been able to raise in there was somewhere between 20 and 30. That was maximum. I had over 200 fish in that system. Simply, and it was healthy as it was so healthy, it was insane. Like literally nothing would die. That, but the reason I was able to raise more fish than that was because I had external big 55-gallon drums, 2 of them external filters, and I also planted. I probably had a tomato plant growing every 6 inches. Like I filled it every time the tomatoes grow, I pop suckers off and shove them down in there off my big plant. And because tomato plants are very hungry and they filter the water, they're very, very efficient in an aquaponic system as far as cleaning the water. And I needed extra filtration to keep the water clean for the fish because I wasn't worried about production of the tomatoes because I already had that one big plant that was giving me more than I needed. I just wanted clean water for the fish because I wanted to produce and eat a lot of fish. So yeah, so if you're going to run higher in fish, you need to make sure the plants that you're growing are really good at filtration. If you're just doing a system with like 20 fish and you've got 3 or 4 grow beds going, there's a good chance the fish aren't going to produce enough fertilizer to keep the plants going. So you gotta learn how to balance it. And that was the fun part. Staying high for life. What's going on? Well, I know y'all see that I pinned the link up there. If somebody wants to come up here and hang out with me, you're more than welcome. I don't care who you are. Come on up, as long as you got clothes on. I think probably the first content video I'm going to put out, and I'm going to try to put it out this week, is it's going to be on like the legitimate foundation of food that you should prep because look, beans and rice get a bad rap from a lot of people, just beans and rice. But let me tell you something. That's the first thing you start with. Beans and rice, beans and rice, beans and rice. You can legitimately live the rest of your life and just eat beans and rice. It's going to be a very boring diet, but there are a whole lot of different plants, different kind of beans. But I mean, it's especially pintos. I mean, that's all the protein you need. So yeah, you know, in a SHTF situation, when you got to really fall back on your stuff, I mean, us in America consuming food has turned into pleasure. It's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be an experience. But in real life, you know, back in the old days, it was like when we stop at the gas station, we fill the tank, get on back to work. That's basically what food was back then. You shoved it in your mouth, you chewed it up, swallowed it with some water, and you went on back to work. You know, and then and in reality, if shit goes downhill, that's what eating is going to be. And now you can splurge, you know, have some different seasonings and some side meals and things like that. But yeah, it's going to be about the basics. And the main, the number one, or one of the reasons why beans and rice are so important is if I'm sure people out there have pets, right? If you have a 30-pound bag of dog food that lasts you, say it lasts you a month for your dog. Well, when you go 2 to 1 beans and rice, you know, 2 parts beans and rice, 1 part dog food, now it'll last you 3 months. And dogs love beans and rice, absolutely love it. It's actually part of the recipe for the dog food that you're feeding them before they, you know, grind it up and make hard pellets out of it. But also, beans and rice are still relatively cheap, even though the economy's gone to shit. They're still relatively cheap and they're available. Um, so there's and the best part about beans and rice, it's literally, other than your seed bank, it is there's no other food, at least that I know of, that's in your pantry that can reproduce itself. Like, and I'm not making this up. I'm not saying it because I heard somebody else say it. I'm saying it because I personally did it. When I was putting all my beans in Mylar, um, beans that I got at Walmart, Wally World, every type of bean that I was putting up, and I put up like at least 10, maybe a dozen different types of beans. I pulled 2 individual beans out of every bag or out of every type of bean that I was putting up, and I planted them. Two of every type of bean. Put them in little egg crates, little egg cartons, a little bit of potting soil, a little bit of water. Every single bean that I planted was up within 4 days. I had 100% germination from Walmart beans. 100% germination within 4 days. Some of them were popping within 2 days, but the very last couple of them popped on day 4. Every single bean popped. So it literally reproduces itself. So yeah, you can't go wrong with rice and beans. Number one. Plus, they're if you're gonna barter, I mean, a lot of people say don't barter food, don't barter food. Why not? That's what everybody's gonna be wanting. Why would you not barter with food? People say, well, then they know you got food. Well, you're alive. Obviously, they know you got food. You're alive just like they are, and they're gonna want to eat. So yeah, I'm gonna barter food. It'll you know, small amounts, enough to get you, you know, here's a bag of beans that'll last you and your wife and kids at least 2 or 3 days. Get on down the road. That was your one chance. Get on down the road. Don't come back. You know. But or if I need something, I'll barter with food because everybody's gonna want food. Why would I barter with gold? I got the food. The guy across the street from me has got gold stacked to the roof, and I got food stacked to the roof. 2 years later, after the balloon goes up, guess who's gonna have all the gold? My neighbor will be fat and happy, but I'm gonna have all the gold. So at least that's the way my head works. I could be wrong. Lala, what's up? How you doing? Hope I haven't missed anybody. Yankee Watchdog, what's up? Birdie, what's up? Sister Marie, what's going on? Yep, spices. I have my spice rack is fat. So, plus that's another good reason why everybody always, or people ask me why I spend so much time, extra time, you know, an entire extra day canning chicken bone broth and ham bone broth and turkey bone broth and beef bone broth. Why? Seasoning, people. I can literally, I'm eating a bag of llamas right now that the only seasoning I put in them was chicken bone broth. I cooked them in bone broth. You don't even need salt and pepper. Like, that's it. That's all I put in them was chicken bone broth. No ham hock. No, I did ham bone. No, it was chicken. Yeah, it was chicken bone broth. I didn't put a ham hock in there. I didn't do anything. I just cooked them with just chicken bone broth, and they're absolutely delicious. Tonight was the second night, and I'm going to be eating them again tomorrow. Oh, thank you, Lala. So what else is going on with you guys? All 47 of you. Alphabet Methuselah, what's going on? Yes, I'm excited about the t-shirt thing. I'm hoping it goes well. But you know what? Here's the thing. Even if I don't like make a single penny off of it from literally sewing the shirts, I'll be uploading the content from me building the screen printer because I'm going to build it myself. I'm going to upload the videos from me building it, learning how to use it, producing shirts, the whole 9 yards. That'll be content on the channel. You see what I'm saying? It's 2 ways to make money off the same object, hopefully. So we'll see. Moonchild, long time. How you doing? Yeah, so the shirt thing is more of a, it's just been in my head for, oh wow. Tribe will tell you, I think I brought it up to Tribe when I first started YouTube. You know, there's a lot of positives and negatives to doing it. Is it hard to make money? Yeah. Unless you get some contracts with some, hopefully I can, if I can weasel my way into the schools around here, that's probably all I need to do. I mean, because you're talking, there's 250 to 300 plus kids at every school, and there's got to be 15 schools within 15 minutes of me. You know, so that's a lot of shirts that they're printing every single year. Oh, I didn't know that, Betty. During the Depression, black powder was a huge border item. Huh. I've got quite a bit of salt, quite a bit of pepper. Maybe I'll get some more because I use pepper on everything. Pepper and Texas Pete. None of that Tabasco bullshit. Texas Pete. Oh, wait a minute. Is it the other way around? Yeah, it's Texas Pete. Oh, and this Thanksgiving, if I do get a turkey, I saw a video on YouTube. This guy, the only reason I clicked on the video was because it said Duke's mayonnaise turkey, and I said, what? This dude made a rub out of Duke's mayonnaise and some different spices and seasonings, and then he coated that entire turkey. He just slathered it on there, and he put some on the inside, and he cooked it with that. Man, let me tell you something. I could almost taste it through the phone when I was watching the video. Y'all should Google that. Y'all should look that video up. It was called Duke's mayonnaise turkey. It was, yeah. I think if I do get a turkey this year, I think I'm gonna try that. Yeah, so I got to go find me some bamboo. Like the ones out back in my yard, several of them will be good for arrows, arrow making. But I want some big. I'm gonna get me a couple of big stalks of bamboo. You know, go ahead and get them cut down, let them get dried. What? Okay, this is off subject. What would be the best gift your mom could give you as a grown man? I don't even know how to answer that, Lala, because like I'm not a big gift. I mean, she brought me into this world. I mean, I don't need anything. I mean, I'm not a big gift giver or gift receiver. I mean, usually my birthday, I just get a happy birthday and they happy birthday back. I mean, or I cook, usually like my father's birthday, I'll cook his favorite meal. For my mother's birthday, I'll cook her favorite meal. That's just kind of what we do. And usually for my birthday, my papa walk in the door with a case of beer, sits it down, and goes on about his business. Yes, we the whole celebrating thing. I've never done that. I've never been big on doing that. But usually, like in the gifts that we do give, it's not store bought. It's something that you do for them, like cooking their favorite meal. Ooh, let me change my answer. Socks are always appropriate. Always. Definitely good socks. And that's saying a lot because you know how hard it is to find good socks. It's ridiculous. Sentimental? I don't know. Lala, I've never. That's a hard question. I might have to think on that one. I don't know. Sentimental. I don't know. It's weird. I'm probably like the absolute worst person for you to ask this question because I don't do feelings. I'm not a very sentimental person. I mean, it's like, I mean, I I had an ex girlfriend. She used to get so fucking mad at me. He never says he loves me. I'm like, I said it to you once, didn't I? Yeah. Well, ain't nothing changed. What the hell? That was a week ago. Are you that insecure? Like, I need to tattoo it on your forehead. Oh, yeah, somebody loves me. I said it once. Ain't that enough? So what else is going on out there? Nobody wants to come here and hang out with me? Y'all know I hate talking to myself, and that's what it feels like I'm doing. Like legitimately. I mean, if it wasn't for the computer being open and the phone being on, I'm like that wacko that sits in his bedroom talking to himself. One thing we did together that was our special thing. Hmm. That is really hard because when I was a kid, if I wasn't in school, I was at my grandfather's house on the farm, like nonstop. And usually, even when I was in school, I was at his house. He would wake me up at 4 in the morning and drive me home to my house, and then I would go inside for an hour and then catch the bus and go to school, and then I'd go straight back to his house. Like, and then when I graduated high school, I went to the army, and then I was gone all over the world uh, for years and years after that until about 8 years ago when I decided to just chill out and try to live a normal life. But I would say, oh, like a gift from her to me, because I don't need or want anything. I mean, if I want something, I just go get it. I don't know. I can't answer that question. I really can't. Ooh, has anybody ever had the cauliflower rice? I've seen that in the store. I've been thinking about trying it. Is it worth the effort? I don't know. Cauliflower rice, it just doesn't. I mean, I've heard people swear by it, but I don't know. I've never tried it. It is good, Miss Sharon. Do you cook it just like regular rice? I mean, because I like cauliflower if it's completely submerged in ranch dressing. Oh, Tribe's had it too. I might have to try it. Might have to. Yep. Yeah, that's the kind that I saw in the store, Miss Sharon, was the frozen in a bag. I mean, it legit, it looked like rice. I thought it was rice. I tell you, Native, did I tell you I had to break up a fight at school Wednesday? I've broken up several since I've been there, but like I've broken up probably 4 or 5 good fights between two boys. Actually, one of them was between 4 boys. But Wednesday, I had a fight between two girls. Let me tell you something, people. I would rather break up 10 fights a day from two middle school kids going at it than one fight of two middle school girls. Man, they turned into demons. And strong. I was like, good Lord. And in my past careers, I've broken up hundreds, if not thousands of fights. These two little girls were just, man. And the bad part is, in school, like, I'm a man and they're girls. So you got to watch what you say, how you say it. And if you're breaking up a fight, obviously you have to put hands on them to split them up, to get the other girl's hair out of the other girl's hand, or get the other girl to quit biting the other girl, stop kicking. So you have to physically touch them the entire, it's like, it's a way bad situation. They're both 8th grade native, so they're pretty much high school. And I mean, it was brutal. I've been involved in bar fights that weren't that violent, like legitimately. Because boys like to talk and push and puff their chest out. Girls go straight for the eyeballs and hair. I mean, they didn't talk. There wasn't no talking. It was like they were both walking down the hall, and the next thing you heard, and they were just at it. So yeah, it was rough. So yeah, I don't like that at all. Didn't enjoy that a bit. I mean, legitimately, all I did was, when I got there, the one girl slung the other girl to the ground by her hair, and all I did was grab both of their right arms, because I had about a 95% chance they were both right-handed. So I grabbed both of their right arms by the wrist, and I just held onto their arms, and I just put my body weight on both of them and just laid on them on the ground until at least 2 more teachers got there that could help me separate them. So I was like, no, I ain't getting nothing, no charges on me, none of that. Oh, they couldn't turn on me, Miss Sharon. I had control. I got those 2 right arms, and I put 250 pounds on top of them, and we just laid there for a minute. And then I got one kid, I ain't gonna say his name, but he's like, how would you put this kid? He was my biggest headache when I first got there, right? Yes, Stephanie, I'm still teaching. I'm still teaching every day. He was my biggest headache when I got there. And he was, and he's the smallest person in the school, and he's in 8th grade. He is legitimately, like, he's not a dwarf. He's just a real small person. He's fully developed, good looking kid. And he's like the smallest mature person you've ever seen. It's just the weirdest thing. But he was a huge pain in the butt. Me and him locked horns, and there was some discipline going down. And I finally, he was straight, because the school that I'm teaching at is Title I, rough area. He was straight thug, straight ghetto, pants hanging off his butt. Didn't listen to anybody. You better don't disrespect me and all that bullshit. And I pulled him to the side, and I didn't talk to him like a teacher. I talked to him like a grown-up. I tell all my kids, you think you're adults, you're pretending to be adults, you're claiming to be adults. I'm going to treat you like an adult, and I expect to be treated the same way. So I had a grown-up conversation with this kid, like a really long conversation about his grades, because they were horrible. He didn't care. And I told him, I said, man, look, give me 1 week. You give me, I don't want you to give me 100% of your effort. Give me 90. I'll take 80%. Give me 80%, because right now you're giving me 20. Give me 80%, and I'll change your life. You'll want to come to school. You'll be excited to be here. You'll be excited for grades. You can turn your days that you're taking tests or you're doing projects into, it's almost like playing basketball or a sport. You get to compete and see just how good you are. That kid, he gave me actually a little over a week, and it was a cycle on something that we're doing in class. That I gave him a quiz, and he got a 97 on it, a legitimate 97, and it was the second highest grade in the class. And you literally, when I pass the grades out, and usually what I do is I'll announce the top 3 grades in the class, and when I said his name, I could literally, you could see like his ears just turn red, and he turns around and he looks, and he's looking at everybody in the classroom, and everybody was looking at him, and they were more shocked than he was, or he was more shocked than they were. I'm not sure which ones were more shocked, but it was like you could literally see the color of his skin change. It was like it was an over the edge moment. It was a change. And since that day, he's my best student, literally my best student. And don't mess around and do something sideways in my class when he's in there, because he will rat your ass out in a second. He is legitimately, he's got my 6 anywhere in the building, anywhere in the building. And his grades are through the roof. The problem is you can't do that with every kid. You legitimate, you don't have the time. And it would be an awesome world if you could do it with everybody, with every single kid, but you can't. You know, some you can reach, some you can't. The problem is I'm teaching over 300 kids every day. I see over 300 kids every day. So the numbers versus the time and the day just legitimately aren't there. But there are some that are just, you can tell they're borderline and you have potential. You just do what you can do, you know. But yeah, he's a rock star now. And last year at the other school I was at, you know, I had this was a girl, and I sent her to in-school suspension twice, and I sent her home for 10 days out of school suspension. And well, I didn't send her, but I mean, it was my actions that had her actions got her in trouble. I'm the one that pushed the paperwork through. And then her and I had to come to Jesus meeting. And then this year she actually moved, and now she's at the school that I'm at this year. And all the other teachers, they're calling me in the classroom whenever she's getting out of line. I'm like, send her down here. You know, me and her, we're good now. She calls me uncle. You know, it's like, but you know, kids that are coming up in broken homes, either not having a mother, not having a father, or being raised a lot of times by their grandparents, you know, they don't have that parental connection, so to speak. So it's kind of cool when you get that in the school. I miss the interaction with the students. Yeah, trust me, Native. I've had more. Well, the reason that I have Buddy, the service dog, I've had more, and I call them episodes. I've had more episodes in the last 3 weeks as a direct result of this school than I've had in the last 3 years. You know, and so that's one of the reasons why I started my brain working to where, you know what, I still want to teach, but it needs to be on a you know, couple 2-3 days a week, and it needs to be at different schools. That way I don't want to get comfortable with them, and I don't want them to get like, I don't want to be there long enough to get involved in the politics, basically. You know, it's hilarious because it was even brought up in class how Missouri brought back corporal punishment this year. The state of Missouri brought back corporal punishment. Of course, it hasn't gone anywhere. It's still legal in all 50 states, as far as I know. But all the school boards just decided not to do the corporal punishment route. But it is still legit and legal here in North Carolina. But Missouri brought it back with parental consent. If the parent signs a consent form that the child can be disciplined with a spanking in class or a paddling, whatever you want to call it, they started that in Missouri this year. I'm still waiting to hear, you know, if there's any good, bad results from it or whatever. But you know, I'm not sure how we got on the topic, but we were talking about it in class. And you know, you got a couple of your outspoken young men and young women that think they're grown, that ain't nobody putting hands, ain't nobody. So let me tell you something. If your mommy and daddy sign the form, you're getting hands put on you, I'm promising you. You know, and hopefully they would bring it back, and they would bring it back to where the school resource officer or particular teachers are the ones that are inflicting the punishment instead of just any random teacher. Because, like, honestly, if you're going to be the one that's doing the corporal punishment, you need to be trained on how to do it, when to do it. You know, just because a teacher says the kid needs to be paddled, maybe when you pull them to the side and you talk to them, you find some other issues that maybe you could do something else. But it needs to be a person that's trained, you know, not a guidance counselor. Guidance counselor always needs to be the kid's friend. He can never be the one that passes down the punishment. It needs to be someone in a position of dominance and leadership, you know, and the one of the people they can get away with obviously is a school resource officer, but I don't think their oath of office is going to allow them to do that. but it should be supervised by the school resource officer. That way your butt's covered 24/7. Yeah, that's what I thought, Betty, with the SRO, but with their oath of office, I don't think they can do that legally. I think that legally they need to be there to witness it and make sure it's conducted without any issues. But it's like I told the students that were bucking back on it. One of them said, if you did that to me, put your hands on me, I'm putting my hands on you. I said, good, because then you're going to get to learn 2 lessons. Because me putting my hands on you, if it's corporal punishment, that's completely legal, and your parents signed off on it. You putting your hands on me is assault. So you get to learn 2 lessons that day. So yeah, but they haven't done it yet. I wish they would. But here's the thing though. The children that are coming up now, they're not the problem. The problem is their parents. My science teacher came to school with a piece of cedar, a plank of cedar. I don't know, it was probably a 1x6, and sent me to wood shop with a piece of paper with the plans drawn on it for his paddle. Had the wood shop teacher supervise me making the paddle that he beat me with. Yeah, so that was fun. But yeah, I mean, I ain't ashamed to say it. I got paddled in school. I got paddled. I never had a hand laid on me in high school because by the time I got to high school, I had learned. 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, I was a frequent flyer. But every single time it happened, I learned a lesson. And by the time you get to high school, I mean, in high school, I was doing a lot of fighting in high school, but it wasn't with the teachers. It was with other students. So it is what it is. Yeah. I mean, you may be right, Betty, but I don't know. I think, like, I talked to the school resource officer at the school I was at last year about it, and she was in full agreement that we should be doing it. And when I asked her about the legalities of it, she's like, you're probably right. She said that she thought that a lot of, at least half of the SROs, if that was part of their responsibility, they wouldn't do the job. They would just not be a SRO. So I think that the SROs should be there to supervise it and make sure it's conducted correctly, to where it's a shock to the system, but not a beating. You know what I mean? But in most of the states, I don't know if it's all 50 states, but most states, they never changed the law. Corporal punishment is still legit and legal. It's just the school boards decided not to use that as a form of punishment. I don't know. In a perfect world, we wouldn't be having to have this conversation because the kids would sit down and shut their mouth and listen. But this ain't a perfect world. And the thing is, too, if I would bet you any amount of money that before this school year started, when the news broke in the state of Missouri that corporal punishment was legal again with parent signatures, and if the parents had a good relationship with the school and the teachers, they would realize that that is a tool to help. And by you making your kids watch you sign that release form that you can get paddled at school, that's going to make your kids go, oh crap, mommy and daddy are working with the teachers now. So, and then when they actually hear about it, because the first time a kid gets paddled in school, I don't care if it's got 1,000 students in it, the first time a kid gets paddled in that school, it'll be all over that entire school probably within 20 minutes. And it's going to be, I promise you right now, those schools that are doing it in Missouri, their discipline issues and their office referrals and write-ups are probably cut in half, if not by more, which will directly affect your grades. But yeah, I think that would help a little bit too. But you got to realize too, we missed in some places almost 2 full years of school face to face. You know, it was online schooling at home. You know, and that's just, I mean, online schooling for college is bullshit. So you know, online schooling for middle school and high school is going to be bullshit. I mean, unless the person chooses to do a video lesson or they want to see it online, like what I was talking about doing with Native, that's a choice to do it. It's not saying everybody stay home. And number one, you're all freaking out because you think you're going to die from this disease. And does the mask work? Does the mask not work? Does the vaccine work? Does it not work? You know, mom and daddy got to stay home from work and they're watching you. They're trying to teach you. They don't know how to be a teacher. So nobody is comfortable in that situation. You know, so they legitimately, I mean, I've got eighth graders right now that cannot spell. I've got eighth graders right now that can barely read. I mean, they read on like maybe a fourth grade level, and these kids are being pushed through the system because right now you can't give a child at an end of the 8 week grading period, 9 weeks, their report card, you can't give them a grade lower than a 50, even if they got a 20. You got to give them, it's got to be above a 50. What is that? I mean, is school now just participation trophies? I mean, like you legit cannot. Nobody fails school anymore. They push them all through. They push them all through. They fail their EOGs. They let them retake it again. They change the grades. Even if you tell the parents that your child needs to be held back, it's the parents' choice, and the parents are just pushing them through. I mean, middle school and high school right now are just basically they're state funded daycares for teachers. And the problem with that is if teacher pay was equal to daycare pay, the teachers probably wouldn't have a problem with it. So it's pretty weird, man. I wish it was school was the way it was when I was in school, but it's not now. I mean, you've got your 4 core classes that the grading is just I care. It's just, and Native will tell you. I mean, you can legitimately grade. You can do all you can teach the best class you can teach. You can grade them fairly, grade them equally, turn the grades in. And I did it last year, turned all the grades in. And but when the kids get their grades and I have them in class after all the grades are put in, I said, let me see your grades, let me see what you got. And not every single one, but I'd say at least 60% of the grades, because I wrote them down. I know what every kid had in my class. They were changed. They were upped by some of them by quite a bit. I had one kid that had a 17. His average in my class was a 17 for the entire year. 17. He passed. And he comes to me the first day of school this year. Mr. Martin, I passed. I looked at him and I said, man, I know you didn't pass. You know you didn't pass. Your parents know you didn't pass. All the other teachers know you didn't pass. And your friends in your little group that you're slapping high fives to, they all know that you didn't pass. So just go on about your business. Right? You did not pass. You should not be going into the 8th grade. You should legitimately be in the 5th grade. I didn't say that part to him, but yeah, it's messed up. And these kids are going to be. You think we got a problem with the left now and the liberals now? Give it 10 years. Yeah, these kids, the ones that I'm talking to, the ones that I taught, that I'm trying to teach, they're going to be running shit in 10 years. If that doesn't make you wet your pants. And I mean, it's funny because I legitimately failed the 7th grade. I was a horrible student. My entire life, I was a horrible student. I passed just because I was smart. Like I'd listen sometimes, but like most of the questions and stuff in school, they're common sense stuff. And but I passed just by having common sense. But 7th grade, I failed it. I was borderline, and I failed 7th grade, and I had to go to summer school. You know, I lost my entire summer, and I legitimately learned more in summer school when everybody else was playing than I did when I was in school that year. You know, but it was an actual real summer school. They don't do that now. What they do now is did like, I think we did 3 2-week sessions, and different teachers came in. They taught a whole group of kids for 2 weeks, and then they tested them at the end of the 2 weeks, and they all passed summer school. So it's a 2-week summer school. My summer school was like the entire freaking summer. I think we had a week off when school let out. The summer school started, and it went until there was a week off before school started. Like it was the whole summer school, the whole summer. But now it's just like 2 weeks, if they even do that. So I don't know, man. It's fixable, but like, here's my main issue. As a teacher, you're required to teach to a certain standard, a state standard. Every state has standards for the entire grade. The entire lesson tells you what to say, when to say it, the words to use, how to say it, the whole 9 yards. You have to teach to that standard, but you don't have to grade to it. So I'm like, what? If you grade to the standard, they just change your grades. So you're required to teach to a standard, but you're not required to grade to the standard. So what's the point of having the standards at all? Everybody just come to school, play video games, have PE for 6 hours, and go home. I missed some stuff in the chat. I apologize. Does anybody else have any questions for me at all? If not, I'm gonna get off here shortly. I'm gonna have me a couple of alcoholic beverages and then rest up. Maybe see if the Carolina Panthers can't win 2 games in a row tomorrow. Or are we? Or is it a bye week for us tomorrow? Can't remember. Can't message. What do you mean you can't message? Like you're trying to type a message? Well, that showed up. North Carolina and Florida for Blind Survivor. I taught in Florida, or I trained and taught in Florida, and then now I'm in North Carolina. I worked. Me and Buddy went to school. I worked, and then came home and chilled out. Nobody trick or treats in my neighborhood where I'm at. I haven't seen a kid trick or treat in 2 years. And plus, you know, with all the drugs and all the crap out there, most of the parents, and there are kids in the neighborhood, but most of the parents, they don't do that. They're not taking that chance. Thomas B. Evans, I used paracord, 550 cord paracord. I used it for my grip, and I used it for the bowstring, and it works great. It's the arrows that I have. It's the perfect size. When you dock the arrow, it won't fall out. You can turn it upside down, it won't fall out. It fits perfect. But I used paracord, and I'm more than happy with the performance of the paracord. Beard hair, yeah, I wish. Not quite long enough. Let's see. Ghost got a question about my pepper plants. I cut them down to overwinterize them, but the top parts of them are turning brown, about an inch down. Should I cut that off? Nah, I didn't. I overwintered mine for the first time last year, and I promise you, I butchered them, and then I picked up the buckets, and I brought them inside, and I stuck them in the basement. And the entire winter, I may have poured a cup of water into each bucket twice. And all the buckets have drain holes in them, and no water leaked out. So, I mean, I just gave them a cup of water, maybe twice, once every month and a half, 2 months, and went back outside and set them out there this year, and they blew up. Yes, it's the first time I overwintered them. I didn't know if it would work or not, but it did. Now, my bell pepper plant, the brown areas that you're talking about, my bell pepper plant, like 2 of the stems didn't come back. They just did, those 2 stems just kind of died off, but the rest of the plant, it did. So I probably should have watered them a little bit more, but they made it. They lived. Yeah, and see here, in my climate here, I mean, it snowed a couple times last year, but it wasn't super, super cold, for multiple days in a row. I thought about throwing up a greenhouse off to the side, um, but what I'm actually thinking about doing is taking my back porch. 'Cause I like to get double value for anything that I do. That's the whole reason for the t-shirt YouTube thing. Is my back porch. I'm thinking about making panel inserts, plastic, and maybe some 1x4s or 1x2s, and that'll just slide into the panels of my screened-in porch and lock into place. And just turning my back porch into a greenhouse for the winter months, and I can just take the panels off and put them in the basement till next winter. But if I do that, just turn my back porch into a greenhouse, I can grow all year, number one. But another bonus to that is my back door will lead directly to the greenhouse. So that'll be a cushion for any heat loss from the door frame, or opening, closing the door, going in and out. So I'll get like a double bonus from that. So because that'll be a warm area to the main area of the house where you lose heat, your door. So I'm thinking about doing that. I don't know if I'll get around to it this year or not, but I'm thinking about it. Well, thank you, Betty. I didn't plan on doing one tonight. It's just nobody else was live, and I was like, well, why not? Let's give it a shot and see what happens. Blind Survivor, welcome to the channel. Oh yeah, if I do that, I'm definitely gonna do a video on it. But I figured that would cut my heating costs, so that would be like awesome, Plus, I'll be able to have fresh tomatoes and peppers, and that's probably all I was going to put out there, because I don't have a huge back porch, but I have plenty enough room for a couple tomato plants, all three of my pepper plants. Could probably do a few other things, not a whole lot. Some lettuces, maybe. Collards will be outside. That would be fine. But I don't know. I should have already gotten started on it now, but with all the hours I'm putting in at the school and everything else, it's kind of hard to find time to get everything together. Plus, I'm lazy, so that's a major issue. Like when I was in Florida, we had a couple of cold snaps. Every year we get one, and it dropped down to mid 40s, low 40s. One the winter before I moved up here, it dropped down to we had frost warnings. It was like high 30s, and I had I had my tomato plants in buckets out back, had my fish and everything going. But what I did is I painted my IBC tote black, so it would absorb all the heat, from the sun, and it would hang on to that heat and then release it back at night. And I had tilapia. They're warm weather fish, and my water temperature got down in the 50s, and I didn't lose any fish. I mean, they just got real dormant. They just kind of went to the bottom and just sat still. And then once the water warmed back up, they kicked it back into gear. But the tomato plants, I just laid them down on their side. They're in 5-gallon buckets. I just laid them over on their side gently, and I covered them with a sheet of plastic. And when it warmed up next day, I just stood them up, and they were fine. Oh yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I can procrastinate better than I procrastinating. Like I put off putting it off. It's true. Believe it. I'm lazy. But usually, if I get started doing something, then I'm all for it. But yeah, I'm lazy, big time. Anybody else got anything for me? What's anybody got anything interesting going on? Pretty sure Native's probably already knocked off and went to bed. Haven't seen him chatting in a while. What does my t-shirt have on it? It's just a me as a skull with a beard. No problem, Leslie. Anytime. Need a woman to give me a honey-do list. I had a wife. I traded her in on a pickup. Best trade of my life. For those of y'all know, I got married once. I married the Antichrist, and you guys think the devil's a dude. It's not. It's a woman. Well, thank you, Miss Sharon. Just hanging out. Just hanging out. Where'd that go? What's your thoughts on the EMP device that was launched into space last week or two? First I've heard of it, Blind Survivor. I get my news from YouTube. I don't pay attention to mainstream media. So, I mean, like literally, if the world's ending and you know, somebody's have to come knock on my door and tell me, because I don't, man, the mainstream, I just don't believe shit. But if there was an EMP device launched into space last week, I would say number one, would have to be a satellite if it's just there loitering. And I'm not positive on the effectiveness of a satellite-based EMP, because I think their orbit is too high to really affect things effectively. I would think it would need to be lower, unless it's got something that launches from it. I don't really know. Yeah, but that's the first I've heard of it. Good night, John. And I think I'm gonna go ahead and call it, folks. I'm gonna go ahead and stick a fork in it. Drink me a couple of beers, watch a little bit of TV, and get ready for tomorrow. Excuse me, I had to sneeze. Wow. Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and call it. Unless anybody else got anything else for me, I'll go ahead and shut this bad boy down. I want to thank everybody for coming and hanging out with me tonight. I appreciate it. My first stream back in a while. Hopefully they'll come more regularly and with some content, and we can get back to doing what we were doing. But y'all stay tuned for all the other stuff that I got planned, you know, the t-shirts and things like that, and then we'll go from there. Other than that, good night, thank you, and we will see you guys later. Y'all have a good one.